thought. Earlier, Deputy Chief Minister Y. Button urged central leadership to reconsider decision and go with 30-30 formula. As Nagaland is marching towards 2023 General Assembly elections, Party Chanda Party begins its mission Nagaland with Party National President J.B. Nada reiterating Lotus will bloom in Nagaland. After addressing a party rally in Wokha on Thursday, Nada addresses the BJP state-level workers at Kohima's Capital Cultural Hall later in the evening. BJP National Spokesperson and State in Charge Nltv clears seat sharing between Nltv and BJP final. Kohli assures Nltv-BJP alliance will continue to good work as a double-engine government with Modi at the helm and a coalition government in Nagaland. Kohima bench of Guwahati High Court directs the NHI, DCL and contractor of the ongoing upgradation of existing Kohima-Mau two-lane road to complete the maintenance work within 7 days. The bench, comprising of Justice Songkop-chung Serdo and Justice Kaketo Sema, opined that work should be done on time as NH2 is one of the busiest highways in the region as the lifeline for the state of Manipur. To resolve long-running border dispute between Assam and Mizoram, Chief Minister of Mizoram Zoramthanga and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma to hold talks for the second consecutive time in New Delhi on Monday. Notably, the tension between the two states reached very high on July 26 last year when police forces of both the states were engaged in a gunfight over border dispute. Hello and welcome to Nagaland TV. You are watching English news at 2:30. This is Japan Fung. Let's look at the stories in detail. Bharatiya Janata Party President J.P. Nada on Thursday said that the seat-sharing deal with National Democratic Progressive Party for the upcoming assembly polls is final and needs no second thought. While addressing party workers in Kohima's Capital Cultural Hall, Nada made it clear that the seat-sharing formula of 40-20 has been taken by central leadership and the party should stick to commitment. All workers must respect the decision. It is to be noted here that earlier during the same event, Deputy Chief Minister and BJP Legislature Party Leader Y. Button urged the central leadership to give a second thought on the seat-sharing formula with an equal seat-sharing formula. Button also claimed that with the support of party workers and central leadership, he will be able to bring 25 legislators victorious.
Mr. Y. Patton has talked about alliance and other things. I would like to share with you. I could hear you, but it is the decision of the party. And let we be the national party. Our national commitments are the commitments which we have to follow. Our national commitments. So we respect, and I would like to also suggest to you that you should have faith in the national leadership. As far as strategy is concerned, we know how to grow and how to come up. But yes, we are a party which fulfills the commitment which we have done.
I assure our national president that if given chance, I assure the leaders from Delhi, from our central leaders, that we will try our best. So I want to request that, and I assure under my PLD leader and under the presidency of Imna Alun, I assure our central leaders that we are 12 today, but if seat sharing goes at least 50-50, 30-30.
As Nagaland marches towards 2023 General Assembly elections, the Bharatiya Janata Party began its mission Nagaland with Party National President JP Nadda reiterating lotus will bloom in Nagaland. After addressing a rally in Wok on Thursday, Nadda addressed the BJP state-level workers at Kohima's Capital Cultural Hall later in the evening. Taking a dig at the opposition parties, Nadda claimed that the BJP is a political party where it doesn't only talk about politics but follows the motto of service. And since 1951, BJP has been the only party which works with ideology of integral humanism and taking care of deprived classes. Nadda said that the BJP is consistent as government which believes in one nation, one flag and one constitution, and that is why Article 370 has been abrogated. Further, Nadda vowed that the BJP-led central government is emphasizing on the growth and development of Nagaland. He highlighted the achievements of Modi government and also tried to point out how Modi government is working tirelessly for the growth of Nagaland and the entire Northeast. Nadda also endorsed the vision of Prime Minister's Act East Policy. Nadda also highlighted the rise of the BJP in the region and said that in the last 5 years, Northeast has become a stronghold for the Saffron Party with a significant jump of vote share from 1.8 to 15%. Nadda also talked about government's stress about the welfare of women, tribal communities. Nadda also made an appeal to party workers to be a part of Seva Bakwara, a massive blood donation drive across the country to commence on September 17 to mark the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And the same event will culminate on October 2nd on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. The party, Ajanta Party Nagaland unit on Thursday apologized to the Kohima Ao Baptist Church for the inaccurate reports that the central president of the party, JP Nadda, would visit the church during his visit to Nagaland ahead of the assembly elections. A draft itinerary had mentioned that Nadda would visit the Baptist church. The BJP Nagaland unit apologized to the Kohima Ao Baptist Church, saying they have no such ill intention to drag the good name of the church. It further acknowledged the church for declining their request by giving a very genuine reason, as the church is already preoccupied with other programs. The Saffron Party mentioned that it would take corrective measures regarding the leak of their first draft. And while on this issue of seat sharing between the BJP and the NDPP, the B2B National Spokesperson and State in charge, Nalin Kohli, said that the decision is final. He said BJP and NDPP are in government together and had a successful coalition. While talking to media, Kohli pointed out that BJP and NDPP alliance is there to serve the people of Nagaland again and continue the good work as a double-engine government with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the center and the coalition government in Nagaland. He pointed out that BJP has a history of always continuing their alliance and to maintain their loyalty to them, as BJP has national commitment and understands regionally also the need and the need to make it strong and an engine of growth. On ENPL's demand for Frontier Nagaland, Kohli said that the party will deliberate on the demand at various levels, including the state party leadership. However, on the slogan "Election for Solution" during 2018 elections that aimed for an early solution to the Naga political issue, Kohli declined to comment on that. And he responded that the matter was at government level and not in the party level. The Rising People's Party has come down heavily on Chief Minister Nipiryo by accusing of seeking service extension for DGP T. John Lunkumer for his personal political ambitions. The RPP commended that Chief Minister Nipiryo, despite being the head of the state, is interfering in public office and it is an abuse of state power. RPP further stated that it will not tolerate or allow Chief Minister Rio to utilize police and administrative machineries to achieve his personal ambitions or political aspirations. RPP further pointed out that the letter which Chief Minister Rio wrote to Amit Shah clearly proved that the NDPP and BJP coalition wants to extend Lunkumer's service tenure to fulfill their political plans. Party also accused Rio of intending to utilize Lunkumo for threatening their political opponents and win the elections yet again. RPP further pointed out that the UPSC had on April 1st, 2022 made it clear to Chief Secretary through a letter that extension of Lunkumo's service was not allowed. However, Chief Minister Imperial defied Supreme Court's order and sought for extension. RPP informed that they will soon bring the issue to the notice of the Election Commission of India. RPP also stated that they will be filing a petition in the Supreme Court for going against protocols for appointment of the state DGP. A public rally held at International Trade Center District Administration Noklak under the banner of peace and development on Thursday due to various issues that have been hampering the development activities in the region. Neighborhoods under Myanmar also took part in the rally in order to further strengthen peace in the region, exchanging goods without boundaries and divisions as India and Myanmar. Khamnungan Students' Union president in his speech stated that the Khamnungan is not divided. They are not living in two countries. The two countries are living with them. He further urged to provide good teachers instead of deploying armies in the region. Former president of Kohima Town Council, L. Ngon, in his speech stated that after laying a boundary stone, they were divided, who once lived as family without boundaries until date, with hope that the road will be constructed for better connectivity and development, which never happened. All Bangsha Students' Union President Heme claimed that the boundaries was made without the concern of the originals. The trade center was closed later due to unwarranted or unwanted firing. They demanded the government to make it functional again and roads to be constructed for better connectivity and development. The main purpose of the rally was to recreate the bond and the peace it once lived with and a demand to return to the rights they deserve. It may be mentioned here that the ITC Dam was inaugurated in 1996 with the aim of development for both countries. India and Myanmar land was also donated for positive outcomes when S.C. Jamir was the Chief Minister of Nagaland.
See, the thing is, today we had a public relay based on this thing, peace and development. We all know that IDC Dan has been facing and experiencing a frequent firing incident here. It is almost 8 times, which we cannot accept it. It's creating a very bad environment, and at the same time, it's sending a very bad image of our land, where we want peace. So that is the main reason we had a public relay today, that we want to rally today, that we want to voice it out to everyone and say that we don't want those kind of firing incidents anymore. We want peace and development here only. Firstly, Guan National Edu IDC done in 1996 when the Chief Minister of Nagaland was S.C. Jamir. It was the inauguration Kurishi. Libya right after that, developmental activities to yade iku hua nai. Khali nambra IDC International Trade Center. Libya ita reality de mohan aina saishukle do firing trading center nishna ekta hoise mohan karne. That we can see that yet a few buildings can be banashe again a few years back. Libya it can be itu bullets can be pura bhangai dise. In place of taking development, yade laga image to khali biya ekta war field nishna noile khali guli mara mari nishna inga pathaise. Where the general public man to idu de ekdam na lage. We really don't want this thing. So we want to.
The Kohima bench of the Guwahati High Court on Wednesday directed the authority engineer of the NHIDCL and contractor of the ongoing upgradation of existing road to 2-lane with paved shoulder from Kohima to Mau to complete the maintenance work within 7 days. The bench, comprising of Justice Songkopchung Serdo and Justice Kaketo Sema, noted that the NH2 is one of the busiest highways in the region, as it also serves as the lifeline for the state of Manipur. So the highways needed to be maintained at all costs so that it does not cause any inconveniences to the transporters and commuters. But the current condition of the road is so pathetic, and so it endangers the lives of people who travel on this highway. Meanwhile, the authority engineer issued notice to the contractor to do the maintenance work immediately. However, the council for contractor stated that the maintenance work could not be carried out due to continuous rain during the last 7 days. The bench further directed the authority engineer to submit a report on whether the maintenance work has been done or not. The Treasury officer of Kohima South informed all pensioners, both life and family drawing pension from Kohima South Treasury, that annual physical verification for 2022-23 session will be held at the Treasury office, Kohima South Treasury, during office hours from October 10 to October 21. All the pensioners are needed to appear physically along with PPO book, renewed NPA ID card, life certificate and non-marriage certificate. Anyone failing to provide necessary documents during the verification process, payment of pensioners will be stopped. The Poshan employees of all the district and block in Nagaland have decided to boycott the remaining activities of Poshan Ma from Friday. The employees are protesting against the non-payment of salary for 8 months since February. Even though the employees made many requests to the concerned authorities, the department did not respond to the issue and just gave them verbal assurance about the payment. Also, the State Program Management Unit failed to give travel allowance to all the employees, which were issued during the launch of the scheme. Buniyadi Shiksha Abhiyan was launched by the EO in charge and YP Singh on Thursday at Gifri Town. The program was attended by teachers from various schools and department officials. BSA is an initiative of Aspirational District Collaborative. PII Foundation in accelerating Nipun Bharat, which aims to achieve universal foundation and numeracy in schools. As Sibal Sangdam spoke on foundational literacy and numeracy and its benefits for students, Piramal Foundation, through its demo school intervention, will improve the quality of education in the primary grades. The involvement of community teachers will give importance while creating volunteers to make it successful. District Planning and Development Board held a meeting on Thursday at Kohima. The meeting was held under the chairmanship of Genijako Nakro and was attended by advisor of Urban Development and Municipal Affairs in Conference Hall of the DRBD Kohima. The board also approved constitution of Kohima District Sports Council with DC as chairman, district sports officer as member secretary, and 1 member each nominated by the board from the sports associations. Joint Secretary of School Education Avelu Ruho gave a PowerPoint presentation on Nagaland Education Project and the Lighthouse Nagaland, enhancing classroom teaching and resources. The project aims to enhance government schools across the state and improve teaching practices. Administrative officers of the districts gave reports on their visit to the selected schools where issues and concerns faced by the schools were highlighted. The state-level Swachhta Hi Seva 2022 with the theme Visual Cleanliness was launched at PhD Conference Hall Kohima on Thursday. It was launched by the Principal Secretary to the Government of Nagaland, E. Mhonbemu Button. Swachhta Hi Seva is an annual event which is held from September 15 to October 2nd every year to create a Jan Andolan through community participation to make villages visually clean and litter-free. The campaign will encompass many sanitation and awareness drives by the village community, like community participation in keeping the villages visually clean, cleaning of garbage places and water bodies, and planting trees around them. The Water Resources Department Chief Engineer Office in Kohima hosted a 2-day capacity building training on service and accounts matters for officers and staff of the WRD on Thursday. The program was chaired by the Executive Engineer Wapong Naroimchen. Resource persons for the training included Department of Economics and Statistics under Secretary Andreas Ezung and retired Senior Accounts Officer, Treasuries and Accounts Department, Kinney Watch. The main goal of the training was to provide employees knowledge and skills and to provide them advice on how to better carry out their task. During the program, IMCHA stated that the department has been providing training for the past 3 years and that it has been successful in transferring knowledge to a large number of officers and staff. The Development Association of Nagaland organized a workshop on stakeholders consultation and synergy development on contemporary issues in promotion and protection of child rights at CK's Town Hall in Cheongsang on Wednesday. The Chief Manager of State Bank of India in Cheongsang, Juhu Besi, spoke on various programs and schemes through banks and financial institutions and further guided the participants to foster the habit of saving and warned them about scammers. Meanwhile, Achu from District Child Protection Unit Cheongsang spoke about the roles and responsibilities of department based on 4 pillars of rights of children, while Inspector of Social Welfare Department of Cheongsang, Tsopong, spoke on schemes for differently abled people and further presented statistics of beneficiaries in the district and informed about the process of availing the benefits as well. Court of Special Judge Pek on Thursday convicted a 51-year-old man and sentenced him to life imprisonment for raping a minor girl on 7 January 2022. The accused has been identified as the grandfather of the minor victim, and he has been serving as head Gaunbara of Puyuba since 2009. The accused was also fined rupees 10,000 for commission of rape upon 10-year-old victim girl. The court has also directed the state government to pay rupees 5 lakh as compensation for the relief and rehabilitation of the victim girl child within 30 days from the date of judgment. Chief Ministers of 2 northeastern states, Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, to hold talks for the second consecutive time in New Delhi on Monday. The talks will be held for the resolution of or for resolving the long-pending border disputes between both the states. The CMO official who is with Chief Minister Zoramthanga in New Delhi said that the venue for the meeting has not been decided yet. He added that the 2 chief ministers have conversed over the phone on Friday and have decided to hold talks on September 19. The tension between both states reached a very high on July 26 last year when police forces of both the states were engaged in a gunfight over border disputes. The scuffle between the CPIM and the BJP continues in Tripura as CPIM has sought an investigation to ascertain information regarding Uttar Pradesh's registered bikes flying in Agartala. CPIM State Secretary Jitendra Chaudhary on Friday wrote to Tripura Chief Secretary J.K. Sinha and the Election Commission of India demanding the inquiry. Chaudhary is interested to know who obtained hundreds of UP-registered bikes in Tripura, which are parked outside the compound of government-run Bhagat Singh Youth Hostel. In a not-so-surprising move, the Enforcement Directorate has launched a series of searches in multiple cities in the country on Friday. Raids are ongoing in Hyderabad, Bangalore and Chennai in the Delhi Excise Police case. Yesterday, Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, challenged the BJP to get him behind the bars, and the Enforcement Directorate today is conducting raids. The raids are being conducted across 40 different locations. They are a part of money laundering investigation linked to alleged irregularities in the already withdrawn Delhi Excise Policy. Sisodia is in charge of the Delhi Excise Department and is under the BJP's radar for alleged deliberate and gross procedural lapses related to the tender process for liquor licenses. Sisodia, along with 15 others, have been booked in an FIR filed by the CBI. The Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal has accused the centre for misusing their powers against his Aam Aadmi Party leaders in order to achieve political gains. Maharashtra government issued a resolution in order to establish a Turmeric Research Center or Research Training Institute. The institute will be established in the Hingoli district under the name of Shiv Sena founder Bal Thackeray. An amount of rupees 100 crores will be allotted for the institute, as per the government resolution issued by the Animal Husbandry, Dairy and Fisheries Department. Thackeray, who had been an influential figure in Maharashtra, campaigns against the growing influence of non-Marathis in Mumbai and formed the Shiv Sena party in 1966 to fight for the interests of the Maharashtrians in Mumbai's political and professional landscape. Another vital development in Sidhu Muzewala's murder case, as two accused of Juhu Bhagwan Buria King were arrested by Punjab police on Friday. The two accused have been identified as Manpreet and Mandeep. DGP Punjab Gaurav Yadav tweeted in an intelligence-led operation. Anti-gangster task arrested two main absconding members of Juhu Bhagwan Buria King from Amritsar. Police also recovered arms and ammunition from the accused. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin at the SCO summit on Friday. The duo will hold bilateral talks on the issues of strategic stability, the situation in the Asia-Pacific region, and the bilateral cooperation within UN and the G20. PM Modi is attending the first in-person summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The summit of the eight-nation influential group is taking place amid the growing geopolitical turmoil. The SCO summit will have two sessions. One is only for the member states, and the other is the extended one, which will be participated by special invitees of the chair country. Mukesh Ambani offered prayers at the Tirupati Palaji Temple in Andhra Pradesh on Friday. Before visiting Tirupati Palaji Temple, Ambani had visited Srinathji Temple in Rajasthan's Nathwara on last Monday. He was accompanied by his youngest son, Anand Ambani's fiancée Radhika Merchant. During the visit, Reliance chief donated 1.50 crore to the Tirupati Devasthanam on Friday morning. Tennis superstar Roger Federer has announced his retirement from the sport on Thursday. He also stated that the upcoming Lever Cup in September would be his last Association of Tennis Professionals event as a player. Federer announced his retirement in a Twitter via a letter. 41-year-old tennis superstar Roger Federer has won 20 Grand Slam titles in his glorious career. He has been struggling with a knee problem for the last 3 years and has decided to step away. And with that, we wind up our news now. Thank you for tuning in.